7 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the council meeting of the Common Council. If everybody would stand for invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's all bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us safely together this evening to do the business of the city. Please be with us and all of our city employees as we go about learning a different way of doing things over the next several weeks. Be with our first responders as they come into contact with people who may be afflicted by this illness and others who call on them daily for their service. We ask that you would let your will be known as we go about the business of the city. Lead us and protect us as we go on from this business. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson White.
Present.
Councilperson Burns.
Present.
Councilperson Harris.
Here.
Council Vice President Maples.
Here.
Council President Croft.
Here.
Council President Owen.
Here.
Councilperson Webb.
Here.
Councilperson Hawkins.
Here.
Let the record reflect that all members are present.
Except Mr. Ellis.
Oh, except, Vanessa. Thank you.
Mr. Ellis has taken some precautions due to just everything going on, I think.
He's a little under the weather. His wife is sick, and because of his age, he's taking the advice of nobody over 60. Says he's the oldest one on the council. You all understand.
All right. We've got minutes from March the 2nd. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Approval of the agenda. I do need a table number 12. Mr. Creevy will not be here. We will not have a public hearing today. That'll get pushed back. Any other changes? Motion to approve with that tabling number 12.
Make a motion to approve table item number 12 of the agenda for tonight. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We have claims to be approved. Civil City, $858,708.88.
I have one request from the Parks Department. They did receive a grant from Southern Indiana Tourism for the foam and cleaning of the hull of the river stage, and Mr. Northam is asking if he could add this to the claims. This project should be completed within the next week and a half, so he's asking to have the $117,500 included in your claims list for tonight, and then he will divvy out the checks as work proceeds.
Heather, you might want to say why it's not on Parks and it's on this one.
Right, it's a grant, yes, from the tourism.
What was the grant amount?
$185,500. He's already paid the first 60, which was the deposit, the number one. And then so he needs to pay 2, 3, and 4.
So what's the new total?
$976,208.88. Mr. Croft, did you have a question?
Is they're gonna put the foam in it or get a new one?
A foam.
Okay, that's what they decided on?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion to approve the claims with the addition.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve with the additional hand carry. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Parks claims 106,883.50 cents.
I have no changes on that one.
Anybody got anything?
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
All right. Unfinished business. Ms. Metcalf, 2020 OR 15. It's the transfer ordinance passed on the first and second before.
And there's no changes.
Is there a motion?
Motion approved.
Second.
And a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. 2020 OR 16. Additional appropriation. Is this a public hearing?
Yes.
All right. We're going to go ahead and open up a public hearing for 2020 OR 16. Is there anybody from the public here to speak for or against this ordinance? This is the sanitation vehicles and the capital improvements for streets and sanitation, correct?
And Cane Run.
And the Cane Run, right, that we've already promised. All right, seeing none, we're going to close the public hearing. We have a motion.
Motion to approve ordinance 2020-R16.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve on the final. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Thank you.
Motion passes. All righty, new business. We've got Brad Benson, New Hope Development Services, LLC.
Good evening. Brad Benson with Applegate Fire Emporium here in Jeffersonville, 428 Meigs Avenue. I'll try to be quick. I understand with everything going on. I'm sure y'all don't want to be close up there. So what I'm here for is the property located, it's the old Reader's Cleaners. That property has been classified as a brownfield. It's a property that, per the statute, claims that once it's determined that it is a brownfield, it's considered valueless. It should be assessed as such. Also, it allows us to petition for, they first went to the PETA-BOA. They approved favorable recommendation to waive the delinquent taxes. Then it comes to you all as the fiscal body to either favorable recommend the waiver of the delinquent taxes, and then it goes up to DLGF. So this is not the final level for this application. But what New Hope's done over the last couple of years, as far as went back and paid a bunch of taxes, I think it's, at one point it was $16,000, and then they paid an additional $12,000, as well as part of the purchasing of the property. They had to deal with a bunch of federal tax liens, state tax liens, and judgments, and part of that was $26,000 to the IRS for federal liens. So they're still in the process of cleaning it up. Due to the previous use, there's a lot in the ground, so they're going through the process of doing that, and what I'm here for today is just a request to waive the delinquent taxes. So I try to be brief, so if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask, because this was something that, at least in our office, it's not something that comes around often. This petition was one that took a little bit for us to get our fingers around, so if there's any questions at all, feel free to ask.
Did they receive any money from the city of Jeffersonville to help pay off the delinquent taxes?
Funding from the city of Jeffersonville? Not that I'm aware of, no sir. I do know that they worked with the city of Jeffersonville with the original environment testing was done. That was back in, I believe, 2015. The city got a grant, and that funding went to the original testing of the property.
The city acted as more of a pass-through on that, right? That's what
Yes,
I thought.
sir.
We didn't actually participate in that testing any more than being a pass-through.
Did New Hope buy it in the tax sale?
So they did not buy it in the tax sale. They had an option agreement with the original owner, and as part of that purchase, it was a $40,000 purchase price. $25,000 went to IRS. Then they paid off the taxes at that time to, I believe it was a hair under $11,000, $10,800, and that was the amount to redeem it from the 2018 tax sale. Then the additional $2,700 went to taxes that were owed at that time as well.
So I think this needs to be a public hearing, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So at this point, we'll open up the public hearing for anybody that's from the public who is here to speak for or against granting this, I don't even know what to call it, waiver. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. We don't have something to, I mean, this isn't a resolution to approve, is it?
So I'll just have you sign these if it is. You just sign it. It just says you just do a favorable recommendation made to waive the property taxes against the Brownfield, correct?
Yes, and that was
You just
tendered to
signed.
you, and I believe I copied both council on that as well.
And that's in perpetuity, right? Correct. So, and it'll just be a parking lot from here on out?
Correct.
Forever and
Correct.
ever.
Well, there's thought of maybe developing it in the future, but as of right now, they've got a lot of work through on the environmental side. It'll be a parking lot for the near future. As far as however long, I can't speak to that. I don't want to mislead the council.
So then what's that process look like if it's remediated and developed? Is it then reassessed and taxed? Or,
Would the improvements be taxed and this is only on the land?
Well,
I think the concern is they don't mind doing this as a parking lot, but if you decide you want to build something there, they don't want.
well, this is the only way delinquent taxes, so it won't be anything moving forward at all. So that won't affect any taxes.
That are owed on it.
Correct. And it's only 20, I believe it's 20, a hair over $2,800.
And I think the assessor's office already approved it, right?
What was that, I'm sorry?
Assessor's office already approved?
The PETA BOA did, yes, sir.
Taxes that are owed on it, old taxes.
So you're only asking for abatement for 2,800?
Yes, sir.
They're just,
We're only, under this,
the county can't waive, one of the steps for them to waive the back taxes is for you all to sign off. So you sign off on it, then the back taxes are waived and they don't have to pay them, but it does not affect the assessed valuation on the property going forward or whatever they do.
and we're only allowed,
Regals, correct?
yes, and we're only allowed to request the delinquent amount, which as of this date is $2,818.20.
So do you need a motion to approve this?
Make a motion to make it favorable? or-
All right, I'm going to make a motion to give a favorable recommendation to waive property taxes against the brownfield.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to give a favorable recommendation to waive property taxes on the brownfield that are owed. Is there any other discussion? Wes, does the administration have a position on this?
It's just a one-time,
Yeah, it's just a one-time,
so going forward, they'll be paying
It's a 501c.
501(c), you're right, yeah. Okay.
What's the number I have of 25,420? And in the letter, the assessor, Matt Owen, city council, the amount of taxes are over 25,420. It's 28. I want to make sure we get the numbers right before it gets passed.
That's on the third page.
I mean,
the bottom.
that's what it says.
And that is what it says, yes, sir. The amount's included in the application, so as far as if there's any discrepancy,
I mean, this was the letter
This is
on
what, so I made sure
27.
council had all the information I covered in that letter from Butch Love. Did you get that?
okay, so,
Assessor approved that, it's all one time deal.
Well, paying more than attorney fees than the old back in the
This was on the application, the 1254, or 2554.
Yeah.
If you double. Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Did you make a motion?
Did you make
There's a motion and a second. So anything else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I need to approve
Yep.
both of your public
Good.
hearing.
That one? There you go.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. Barkley, your next resolution requesting funds from Clarksville County's Convention and Tourism.
We have done this in the past. The agreement we have with the Tourism Board and the town of Clarksville that to draw money that the Tourism Board has awarded, you have to adopt a resolution requesting that money. As you're aware, the board awarded a grant to the city of Jeffersonville and the Department of Redevelopment for the Big Four Depot project in the Arts and Cultural District. The original request was for $1 million. They awarded $500,000 of that request, and we have awarded the contract to begin that project, hopefully. I'm not sure what's going to happen now, but the original plan last week was to start construction here in the next couple weeks. But obviously, to do that, we need to have this money in the hands of the city. And to do that, we need to have this resolution adopted, sent to the tourism board, and then the $500,000 then will be available for this project.
Resolution number?
3.
Is there any questions for Mr. Murphy or a motion?
Make a motion to approve resolution number 3.
Second. Motion and second to approve 2020 R3. Anything else? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
There's only one
Resolution
reading
as
of the
well.
resolution. Oh, I'm sorry.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Sean Dade, ordinance amending the zoning ordinance.
Good evening. ZO 2002 makes revisions to Article 7, specifically dealing with height standards, accessory structures, and fences and walls. These revisions reflect an ongoing effort to address some common issues and complaints that arise from the strict application of our zoning code. These are part of our efforts to address these complaints and maybe, reduce some of the frequent variances we get for some of these items. They received favorable recommendation on March 10th from the Plan Commission. And overall, we're making these changes for clarity, ease of use, as well as better compatibility and conformity with recent development trends. Any questions? I can kind of elaborate more on some of these changes.
Did all of these things that were being presented on, were they all unanimous with planning and zoning?
All 3 were unanimous, yes, sir.
What's the number for this one?
17.
17. It is a public hearing? Okay. At this time, we're going to open a public hearing. Is there anybody here from the public to speak for or against? I don't see even Mr. Eklund. We'll close the public hearing.
We have a meeting.
You know it's serious.
He's over 60.
That's when you know it's getting dicey.
The apocalypse.
Questions, comments, motions? Anything at all?
I'll make a motion to approve 2020 OR 17 on the first and second.
Second.
Motion and second to approve on the first and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Wait.
That was an OR 18. You already passed 17.
Say that again. 14?
No, 18.
Oh, 8.
You're talking right now about the
We were on
portions of
the-
ordinance 2016 OR 45, correct?
No, let's
That's the
back up.
next one.
No.
So you're still on 17?
Number
Correct.
17.
Okay, because I thought you already had that motion.
Number 17, does that require 3 readings?
No.
Okay, so we're just...
You may amend
we're
that.
just passing. Well, it's
Yeah.
okay. All right, just making sure. All right, now we're going on to 2020 OR 18. Is this a public hearing also?
Yes.
Sean, you will give us the...
Sure. As this revision is for Article 4.15 for the C2 district. It's to correct an error in the table. It is referenced into 2016 OR 45. We found some conflicts. Convenience stores with gas pumps is both a permitted as well as a special exception use in Article 4.15. However, Article 1.7 states when there are conflicting standards with the code, the more restrictive code shall apply. Therefore, by the letter of this, the gas station should only be permitted with a special exception. Additionally, the use matrix in Article 14 has the convenience store with the gas pump as a special exception use as well. Unfortunately, this has allowed a number of gas stations to be permitted without the further scrutiny of the special exception. Once you see it as a permitted use, you don't go any further into the code to see if it's something else. So this revision simply corrects it. It removes convenience store with gas pumps as a permitted use in C2, but allows convenience stores without a gas pump as a permitted use, and keeps it only as a special exception in the C2 district, which was the intent of you all passing 2016 OR 45.
Comments? Motions?
Public hearing.
No, public hearings. This time we'll open a public hearing. Is there anybody that's come in since the last one that would like to speak? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Anybody?
Somebody else can make
Make
a
a
motion.
motion to pass 2020 OR, is it 18?
18.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve 2020 OR 18. Anything else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Sean, let's do 3 for 3.
All right, this one, basically, as I mentioned before, the land use matrix, we're just basically a housekeeping. Land use matrix in Article 14 has not been updated in a long time, and since it's been adopted, there's been a lot of changes that have come forth, specifically neighborhood commercial, downtown commercial, neighborhood industrial, and the other industrial zones. All this does is make the permitted and special exception uses in Article 4 match the matrix in Article 14. For example, the River Ridge IR district is not even in the matrix. So we added that, and there's nothing that's been added or subtracted from it other than making it match Article 4. So,
Public hearing? Yes. At this time, we're going to open a public hearing for 2020 OR 19. If anybody's here to speak for or against it. This time, we're going to close the public hearing.
Make a motion to pass 2020 OR 19.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, thank you, Sean.
thank you.
Mr. Merkley, ordinance amending the salary ordinance.
Okay, briefly, we have a couple things on your agenda tonight that we believe is necessary in light of the crisis that we're facing with the virus. As you're aware, both the governor and the president has issued, the governor a state of emergency, and then the president Friday issued a national emergency. The mayor and the department heads, we've been meeting the last 2 or 3 weeks, close to 3 weeks, on how to be prepared for this when it did occur. Our primary goal is to protect the city employees and the general public for how long this crisis ensues, but also we want to continue to provide essential city services as much as possible, with our primary concentration being that police, fire, and sanitation continue. In the meantime, the mayor has decided that City Hall will remain open as long as we can, and hopefully that will continue throughout the entire period. But we're going to be working on a skeleton crew in City Hall. We started that today. I will hand you the executive order the mayor signed today, that based on what the governor and the president has done, we have determined, with consultation with department heads and supervisors, which employees should work from home remotely during this. And we believe each department has implemented a plan to make that happen.
We did the rest of the meeting in 25 minutes. Let's keep going.
Okay. So, and again, we are venturing in uncharted territory. I'm on a email group with other city attorneys and corporation councils throughout the state, and along with AIM and EMLA. We're trying to figure this out as we're going, how we can maneuver the legalities of what needs to be done, and then also to comply with the law. Our salary ordinance and employee handbook does not address really working from home, working remotely. So we thought, to be safe with State Board of Accounts, we needed some type of policy in place. In addition to the executive order signed by the mayor, we are proposing that the salary ordinance for this year be amended to include a section regarding stay-home pay during a declared emergency. Basically, gives the authority for those employees to be paid, and also put some parameters on what the expectations are for those employees going forward. I think that's probably a wise thing for us to have. And again, this is only during this declared emergency. Once the emergency is over with, this would not apply. So I would request that this matter, or this ordinance, be adopted on all 3 readings tonight, because it needs to be implemented as soon as possible, and I'm not sure what the future holds for everyone. So.
This is what you've gathered based on discussions in the email group with the other city attorneys?
Yes.
People are doing this?
Some are, and some are waiting to see what we're going to do. So, yes.
Well, Jeffersonville?
You know, what's coming up later, they're waiting to see what we're going to do. We're sort of making this up as we go along, Dustin.
Okay.
So.
Unless this does read where you can't accumulate overtime from home.
That's correct, yes.
I thought that is
Yeah.
exactly.
What's happened is a lot of them are going on we've been working on this for the last at least 2 weeks. A lot of employees already had the ability to work remotely. For example, I have the ability to work remotely on my computer, or my laptop. Others did not, and they've been now given that through IT. Their phones will be forwarded to their cell phones, so, you know, they can, but like in the mayor's office, there are 5 of them that will rotate over 5 days, sitting at the main desk, and the other 4 are at home. So, and that could change. We don't know what's gonna happen.
We would like to go ahead and approve this on all 3 readings, because I think they want to get this implemented as soon as possible, and
Yes.
make sure that we can still pay everybody and it's all kosher. So if there's no objection, I would like to entertain a motion to suspend the rules in anticipation of approving 2020 OR 20 on all 3 readings.
So moved.
Motion and a second from Mr. Maples. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. And entertain a motion to approve the 2020 OR 20.
So moved on all 3 readings.
So moved on all 3 readings, Mr. White, and seconded by Mr. Maples in the audience. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Then we got resolution 4, which is next on your agenda. This is similar to what the Board of Works approved this morning. Basically
Plus,
saying we're going to pay our claims, even if we decide that this group can't meet.
Yes, I'm handed out, you have one in your packet, but since then, I made some slight changes,
Revisions.
revisions. And again, we're in uncharted territory. The concern is that we as a city, being the City Council, Board of Public Works, all the other boards and commissions, are not going to be able to meet at some point due to the public health emergency. Obviously, you know, today the president said that, you know, any gatherings of 10 or more should be avoided. So at some point, there is a strong possibility that public meetings will not happen. I know the Board of Public Works will not meet again until further notice. They had a special meeting this morning and adopted a similar resolution whereby it gave the mayor the authority pursuant to Article 10. Any action that the Board of Public Works could take as a board, now the mayor has the authority to do. The most important thing was to approve payroll on a weekly basis, but it also gives him the other authority as well. You have in front of you a resolution that would do something similar but much more narrow. Obviously, we want to make sure that claims are paid and the bills are paid in the event the council cannot meet. Because as of right now, we have to comply with the open door law. We were hoping that the governor was going to take some action today to lessen those requirements, and he has not, and that may still come, to allow you all to participate electronically. But as of right now, the open door law we have to follow until we're given other guidance or tools. So this basically says that in the event that the city council cannot meet, that the council president can waive the requirement that you all approve claims that would have been presented at that meeting. And then the council, by doing that, gives the controller the authorization to pay those valid claims. Again, I've said this, Larry will agree, I've said this for 20 plus years. If it's on the claim list, odds are you're obligated to pay it anyway, because it's either we've already bought something, or we've ordered something, or it's money that's been appropriated. So also, what's different than what's in your packet, I went ahead, because I believe you are the legislative body, also would apply to any other boards, that they could do the same thing if the president of a board or a commission that approves claims, they would not have to meet to have claims approved, which I was told that apparently that's drainage board and sewer board.
And so you all know, there's been several occasions where actually Mr. White has raised the issue outside of these circumstances as to whether or not the council can entertain an ordinance that would actually cause you not to even need to address the claim. So is that correct, Mr. White?
Yes, it is.
As the city of New Albany does. So it doesn't really, what you're doing allows you all to waive that process that you've chosen, but that process isn't so draconian that you could not even, that you have to even do that if you adopted a specific language in an ordinance. So I'm not uncomfortable with it happening, I guess is what I'm saying.
The statute specifically says that a city board or legislative body may allow a claim only at a meeting of the board or legislative body. So it could be, that's the requirement, but it could be any, does not have to be the council, it could be any board. So, and if you look at Article 10, which is what this is based on, and it was the one that was adopted by the Board of Public Works, this could be expanded to even, which is not what we want, but it could be expanded to appropriations and so forth.
And the
This is only for claims.
And the importance of it is, from your all's perspective, is you're not adopting this ordinance or suddenly when this state of emergency resolves itself in 30 days, that you have given up any procedure or process.
That's correct.
Followed. So it's self-extinguishing.
And it's still the decision whether or not to waive your all's approval of the claims rests with the council president saying that we can't meet because of this issue, and then she can pay. So.
Would we still see the claims? I mean, at some point?
Yes. She still wants to send the claims to you, and I'm sure she would entertain any emails or any questions or so forth. I don't want to get in a situation where we're approving them by email, because then we've got an open door issue that I don't want to have to deal with. So.
But I would defend that.
Yeah. You know, I will say the State Board of Accounts sent a letter out. I thought they were going to send another one out today. They said they were going, but they did not. They sent one out last week that basically said, you know, try your best to comply with all the regulations, but we understand that if you can't, just do your best, work with your attorneys, and try to figure out how to make this work.
So I think probably the way we would handle this for us is that we would still get a claims docket, and everything like normal would come out, hopefully from the clerk's office, in preparation for a meeting, and then we would just make the decision. We're not going to meet because it's probably not a good idea, just for safety reasons. And then you'll have still seen everything that's going to be approved. We'll just decide that by default the controller will approve things because we've waived our decision to meet.
So we'll still get it all.
And it's just regarding claims. If for some reason, you know, if there's issues where ordinances have to be adopted or any other action would need to be taken, you know, the open door law does allow for emergency meetings to occur where we do not have to give the 48-hour notice. But, you know, there's other issues that may arise down the road. What if we're under a lockdown and we don't even have that option. So
Can, the federal government can't lock us down, can they? mean,
I
we're
think state government, I think state can.
I'd say the 10th Amendment keeps the federal government from doing it in the states, and I would argue that the state can't lock you down, but it'd be bad for them not to.
I think under a public health, I think they can lock you down for public health.
Well, now, I agree with Mr. Murphy. The health department can lock you down, the governor can't.
He controls the health department. And he's tall.
Vicarious is an interesting word.
So, you know, we believe this resolves the claim issue for the council and for those boards that approve the claims if you're unable to meet. You know, there are a lot of other issues that just are constantly popping up as we go along. If we are under a lockdown and if the employees do not work at all, you know, are they still entitled to pay? I mean, there's a lot of issues that are going to be. We have 2 seminars tomorrow. Kim and I are participating in webinars on HR because there's federal legislation that's extending FMLA to deal with this issue. And so.
All right, there's 2020 R4, right?
Correct.
Is there a motion? We're going to suspend the rules?
No, it's a resolution.
Oh, resolution. Just one.
So moved.
Motion and a second to approve 2020 R4. Anything else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Attorney comments, Mr. Wildman?
I hope I didn't scare anybody. But I do have 2 friends that I...
More than usual.
More than usual. I've had 2 individuals that I actually spent time with on Saturday who have been diagnosed. And not understanding is that a mask is the most appropriate way to help prevent the spread. So if any of you guys get sick, you can't blame it on me. My mask.
Okay, department heads. Chief, thank you for joining us. You have anything?
I'll take this time. Council President, thank you. Members, and also to address our constituents of the city that the police department, we are normal operations. However, we have taken some precautionary steps, obviously with the recognizing the social distancing, but to ensure that the operations are occurring, we're doing some things such as doing some things by telephone, but however, I want you to know that public safety is still in the highest regard here in the city of Jeffersonville, and we will be here regardless to do the things that we do to keep the city going.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Casey McFoy, thanks for being here. Corporal Wyden, I'm sorry I didn't call you back this morning. Thanks for being here. I did get your message, and it's been a day. Did you have anything, Heather? No. Okay. No public comment, because I don't see any public here. And Mr. White.
We will all get through this in time. So let's be patient. Let's follow good advice from our professionals and stay calm.
Mr. Burns?
Nothing.
Mr. Harris?
No comment.
Mr. Maples? From the
Yeah,
podium?
Yeah, I'll come to the podium. I'll keep my social distancing from you guys. The governor's recommendations that came out today says non-essential person meetings will be limited to 10 persons or less. It should be meet virtually whenever possible. So I think that gives us some recourse on the governor's direction of. But with that, I sent an email before, and I don't know the legality of it. If this turns where we need to have meetings, are we allowed to have them if they're on record digitally?
We are not supposed
Not right
to.
now.
Okay, so that.
We're hoping that's what they will allow. They will allow you all to participate electronically. But as of right now, if you participate by meeting electronically, you cannot count as a quorum and you cannot vote.
Okay. Well, in anticipation of that possibly changing, we should probably be looking for ways that we enhance technology to allow.
I've already spoken with Matt Dyer and told him that we need to, because our phone system right now, I think, can only take up 6 for a conference call. So my recommendation would be is we look into subscribing to service like Cisco or one of those other third-party vendors that allow multiple people to participate in at least a conference call, and obviously we can look at video options as well.
Yeah, and possibly entertain that the public has an option to participate electronically. Also, I know meeting here, that would be a obstacle for some of the public, but there's also an obstacle for driving here and coming here. So, as I see there's an obstacle for technology, there is an obstacle for being present at this meeting too. And also just being involved in these meetings, I would caution anybody to keep their distance from everyone. And if you do feel like that you've been in contact, don't flood the system when you don't have to. Self-quarantine, go home, do what the government has advised, and don't flood the system with the test kits that people that actually can use them. So I just don't want panic. That's all I'll stay back here.
Thank you, Scott.
Mr. Croft?
Yeah, just saying a prayer of this all passage as soon as possible. That's all I got.
Mr. Webb?
No comment.
Mr. Hawkins?
Nothing.
All right, we'll email back and forth and make a determination if we're going to meet in 2 weeks or not. If not, like you said, self-quarantine and just keep to yourself till all this passes. Yes.
I have a question, probably why we have the attorneys here. I don't know how the clerk's office, or if you do meet somewhere, how would you all record that, or how would I get to
We don't know.
this?
We'll have to figure it out as we go
As
along.
long as somebody
make
lets
sure.
us know, because
If we use the service like GoToMeeting or Zoom meeting, it'll have
Sure,
recording
somebody
option.
do
I'm gonna do that.
Right now, we just need to have that option.
Today we will plan
I'm
to
not sure if the governor has the
as-
authority to do what they want.
Yep.
I just have a quick question. When I get city emails,
Mhm.
I get the email and the text, all the narrative and all that, but there's never an attachment there.
Like the packet.
Is this on a phone or?
Not there. I don't use my phone a lot. I use a laptop at home. But either way, I got a message.
everybody gets the same email, or you all are getting the attachments okay, right?
Mhm.
Maybe you
Yeah,
should,
we
when
may
you
need to
get a chance, bring it in
talk
and
about IT.
let the clerk's office look at it, or maybe Matt Dyer.
Yeah, laptop, you could bring it,
Yeah.
and have a look at it.
I don't have a laptop as a desktop.
Oh,
Yeah.
You have a grandchild?
No, I got one today from Peggy Hardaway.
Well, I'll gladly do like I do with Joe, 'cause he likes to come and get his physical packet too. I can gladly send you an email or a text and let you know the hard copies are available, so you can come in before the meeting and pick it up. He comes in on a Thursday or Friday, picks it up,
Well,
especially when they're huge.
it went from like city email and everything was fine to now this web something.
That's
It's
the
totally
upgrade.
different.
I can't log in on the desktop, but Matt knows, and I haven't seen it. I can only get it on
I
the
don't
phone
know.
now.
I can log in and I can get I got Peggy Hardaway's, all her information about, and below is the packet, but there's nothing there.
It's strange, 'cause
I
we
just
send
saw
them
that
all out in a
message.
group
Now,
text.
sometimes
to
it might
Christina.
show up under the subject line, you'll have to double click, or sometimes it might be at the bottom of the whole email.
Well, that could be it could be my ignorance as well.
Well, that's why I said you might,
well.
see if you've got a grandkid that could come over and say, find mine.
No, I don't have any grandchildren.
They know everything.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
To be clear,